The warm golden sun hung low over the horizon as the small group of travelers disembarked from their sleek tourboat onto the eastern banks of the Nile. The air was thick with the scent of history dust and papyrus, sandstone and incense, a blend of ancient and modern that wove through the fabric of time itself. They had come seeking answers, adventure, and perhaps even a glimpse beyond the veil of known reality. This was no ordinary sightseeing trip. It was the 2025 tour of ancient Egyptian technology and mysticism, a journey crafted for those who yearn to. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for new update to understand not just the ruins but the forgotten knowledge hidden within them. Leading the group was Dr. Elias Carter, a renowned Egyptologist with a deep fascination for the lost sciences of the ancients. His theories, once dismissed by mainstream scholars, suggested that the Egyptians possessed a form of technology and mystical understanding that far surpassed their time. His research indicated that their engineering marvels, from the Great Pyramid of Giza to the intricate tombs of the Valley of the Kings, were not simply built through primitive means, but rather through an advanced comprehension of energy, sound, and cosmic alignment. Now, for the first time, he would guide a select few into the depths of these secrets. The first stop was Saqqara, home to the step pyramid of Djoser, the earliest colossal stone structure in Egypt. As the group stood before its towering facade, Elias pointed toward the perfectly cut limestone blocks. Each of these stones, he began, was not only carved with precision but also arranged according to sacred geometry. Many believe that these pyramids were mere tombs, but evidence suggests they might have served as energy generators, harnessing the natural frequencies of the earth. His words hung in the air like an incantation. Could it be that the Egyptians had mastered a form of resonance technology, one that allowed them to move and arrange massive stones with minimal effort? Some of the travelers exchanged knowing glances, their curiosity deepening. They had heard whispers of these ideas before, but never from someone who could back them with historical evidence. As the journey continued, they found themselves drawn deeper into the mystery. At Abydos, the sacred temple of Osiris, they were led to the Osirion, an underground megalithic structure that predated most known Egyptian architecture. The sheer size and weight of the granite blocks defied conventional explanations. Some of these stones were transported from Aswan over 500 miles away, Elias explained. Mainstream historians tell us they were dragged here using wooden sleds, but think about that for a moment. Would a civilization as advanced as the Egyptians rely on such crude methods? Or did they possess knowledge of anti-gravity, sound manipulation, or some other lost technique? It was a theory supported by ancient texts, some of which described priests who could chant stones into place or use rods to make them weightless. Was this merely myth, or had modern scholars overlooked something critical? At night, under the vast Saharan sky, the group gathered in their desert camp, sharing stories by firelight. One of the travelers, a physicist named Rebecca Langley, had spent years studying the effects of vibrational frequencies on matter. There are experiments today, she said, that show how sound waves can manipulate objects. What if the Egyptians had tapped into something similar? Their temples, their obelisks, even their hieroglyphs, they all seem to encode some kind of frequency-based knowledge. Her words added fuel to an already burning fire. The more they saw, the harder it became to accept the simplistic narratives given by history books. Their next destination was Luxor, where the sprawling Karnak temple awaited them. As they walked through its towering columns, Elias pointed out something that had baffled archaeologists for decades: precisely drilled holes in solid granite, cut so smooth they seemed machine-made. Even with our most advanced diamond-tipped tools today, he said, we struggle to replicate this level of precision. How did they do it thousands of years ago? The answer, some believed, lay in the lost knowledge of sound technology. The ancient Egyptians were deeply attuned to frequency and resonance. Their chants, their instruments, even the layout of their temples seemed to reflect an understanding of how vibration could shape reality itself. As the group moved on, they visited the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, where the famous Dendera light reliefs depicted what some interpreted as massive electrical bulbs. Elias cautioned against hasty conclusions but admitted the Egyptians spoke often of sacred lights and divine illumination. Whether metaphorical or literal, we cannot ignore the possibility that they had harnessed energy in ways we have yet to rediscover. The climax of the journey awaited them at the Great Pyramid of Giza. Under the stars, they were granted exclusive access to its inner chambers. As they stood in the king's chamber, Elias asked everyone to sit in silence. The room seemed to hum with an invisible energy, the granite walls vibrating ever so slightly. Some felt lightheaded, others euphoric. This chamber, Elias whispered, was never meant to be a tomb. It is an instrument designed to channel energy, perhaps even consciousness itself. In that moment, something shifted. Whether it was the power of suggestion or the genuine effect of the pyramid's design, each traveler felt a deep connection to something beyond themselves. A realization settled upon them. The ancients did not merely build monuments, they built machines of spiritual and energetic transformation.